Hey everybody, Todd here. Welcome back to another Wellness Talks Brief. Can meditation really help you get through trying or troubled or tough times? Does it really make a difference when you're dealing with a lot of life stressors? Well, first off, that depends. What kind of life stressors? If it's an extremely tough time, it's not going to be the only thing that's going to get you through those. We're going to need multiple approaches if we're dealing with a lot of different stressors, such as death in the family, sickness of a child, in school full-time, going for a PhD, whatever it happens to be. If we have too many sources of pressure, too many sources of stress, we're going to need to learn how to manage all of them, and having just one tool isn't going to do the job. If all you have is one tool in your toolbox, it's going to be very difficult for you to do a repair around the house, especially if there's multiple things which need to be done. So that's one way to think about this. But two, is meditation, aka mindfulness, going to be something which you can utilize during a time of high stress? And that, once again, depends on how often you've actually utilized, practiced, and reinforced mindfulness or meditation as a behavior. So if the situation becomes highly stressful and you don't have this skill, you don't have this muscle, then just sitting down for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and it's not consistent, that isn't going to work very well for you. That would be like thinking that you could lift 60, 70, 80 pounds when you've never spent a day in the gym, never done any kind of physical activity in your life. You're not going to be as good at that. And if all of a sudden you're faced with 100 pounds, it's going to be overwhelming. So mindfulness and or meditation and even contemplative prayer are extremely useful if you have an ongoing sense, if you have an ongoing practice, if you've strengthened those muscles. Now, if you also recall, one of the most wonderful things about mindfulness is that it allows you to catch yourself when you begin to dwell on a thought, when you begin to ruminate. I believe I have found for myself and for those that I work with, just that tiny skill alone of noticing when I'm caught allows me the ability to get out of that trap where I'm stuck, the swamp, so to speak, a lot faster than if I didn't have this skill in the first place. So the mindfulness then accelerates how fast I can actually see what my mind is doing and contributing to making the stressors worse. Won't necessarily reduce the stressors, but it'll actually change my perspective of those stressors so that I can actually move through it with velocity. I can get through it much quicker. So I believe that the easiest way to answer this question would be this: can meditation really help during really tough times? And the answer is absolutely.